the Jamborees to the Superdome. Your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Todd Black, Jimmy Roy, and Cade Wazan.
Welcome to the Week 3 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, Jimmy Roy. We got Ryan, we got Casey, we got Skip, and we got everyone tuning in tonight. If you're watching on YourView, we appreciate everyone tuning in following a classic between Carr and Warren Easton. You can find Scoreboard, a full statewide scoreboard on the bottom of the screen, our ticker, following it throughout the night. And we'll have updated regional scoreboards coming up in just a bit.
I don't know how much of a classic that was.
I don't know if that one was a classic, but Catholic UI was.
Come down to a field goal for that game, and Catholic High falls to U High. U High pick up the win 31. Was it 31-30?
31-30.
They had a lot of unnecessary penalties on both teams in that game.
We will be speaking with head football coach Tony Corville coming up in just a couple of minutes. Look forward to that conversation. Really good football being played out in the Acadiana area.
Yeah,
this week.
Cade, Southside has really built a good program, and Karen Crow had a little revenge on their mind. But Karen Crow's doing some different things on offense. Coach Corville, I think is in his 7th or 8th year at Karen Crow, and really does a phenomenal job. So we look forward to having him tonight.
Is he the architect of the open-air Crow Dome?
I think that was a little before him. What was the old coach's name there?
It wasn't Baru.
Was it? Yeah.
Mac.
That's it.
Before we get to any of that, though, let's go ahead and kick off things with our opening drive.
Taking you through tonight's top stories, this is Opening Drive on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard.
So I'll try to get a couple areas of the state where I think there were some big wins tonight. I'll start first out in North Louisiana. Oak Grove falls to Sterlington. This is a game, if I'm not mistaken, that Oak Grove won pretty convincingly last year. There are, a lot of talk around possibly another run to the Dome and a 4th state championship in 5 years, but back-to-back losses to good teams, OCS and Sterlington tonight.
That game was 52-50 last year, if I'm not mistaken, and that game went into overtime. Now, one thing about Sterlington that Lee Doty had talked about early in the year, they played Neville really well in the Jamboree, played West Monroe close week 1, but one of the things that he has talked about is his offensive line. And when they have a good offensive line, they have a really good team. And he's talked about it all year, but that's a big win to beat Oak Grove. That's back-to-back losses for Oak Grove. You don't see that happen very often.
Well, right before half, they had the opportunity to either Oak Grove had the opportunity to either kind of go ahead and get into halftime or try to put some extra points on the board. He tried extra points. Sterlington picked it off, ran back, and that was a big turnaround right before half.
And at that
big
point,
momentum swing.
At that point, it was a 28-14 game, turned into 28-21 at the half.
Carr, as we mentioned, over Warren Easton tonight, and that's a situation, if I'm not mistaken, I don't have the all-time record, but this was the year it seemed like maybe Warren Easton would get the better of Carr. Carr's had this matchup for a while. I mean, it feels like they've had the better of this matchup for a while. But they come out and they play real good football tonight.
Carr had won 11 straight, not counting the game that they had to forfeit last year. But this game was a running clock. You look at what Warren Easton's done, go on the road to Ruston, go on the road to Catholic and beat Catholic pretty good, and then go up there. Just how good is Carr? It makes you think. We're going to try to talk to Bryce Brown tonight if we can get in touch with him. It's hard to get in touch with, but what a game for Carr. The quarterback comes out and throws 6 touchdowns, I believe. Had 5 in the first half, four throwing and 1 running.
And speaking of getting a little revenge from last year, Zachary gets the win tonight over St. Aug in a game that really started off going the way of the Purple Knights. You were giving them opportunities. I'm sure a frustrated Coach Brew at halftime. But you go into half 7-7, and you and I were talking with Skip, and I felt like that's a win for them considering what had happened, and they come out and play better in the second half.
It was an absolute win. They could have been down 14, 21 points easy. They survived it, though.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, they did some uncharacteristic things early in the game, extended their first drive with a penalty. They converted St. Aug converted 3 third downs, 1 fourth down. You had a roughing the passer penalty on third down that extended the drive. But, at one point with a little over 8.5 minutes left in the half, St. Aug had run 30 plays to Zachary's 11. They dominated the ball game. When you look up at halftime, it's 7-7. So Coach Brewerton, was he happy? No, he was mad. You could tell him he was pretty ticked off. But at the same time, he had to feel thankful because it was 7-7. They made a swap at quarterback at halftime. Hudson Spangler came off the bench. He's a senior, throws a 50-yard touchdown pass right off of the bat, and that put him ahead. Anything
else stood out so far from what you guys are hearing tonight?
St. James. I mean, not St. James, but also St. Charles.
St. Charles,
yeah,
big win over Turling's Catholic, and Dane Charpentier had Turling's playing really well. Preston Welch had been lighting it up all year long, or for the first couple of weeks, I should say. And St. Charles, man, I was telling Todd, what they're doing right now reminds me of what Notre Dame did back in the early 2000s. From like late 90s,
Coach Cook,
to like 2010 or so. They were just there every single year. They did everything right. It just really well coached team.
And they aren't playing a light schedule. St. Charles is playing
they
stud teams.
What, Shaw beat Rummel tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You played Lutcher last week. They went on the last second field goal. It says something about
Turlings.
Lutcher and now Turlings.
Yeah.
And I think they have Newman next week.
Might be right.
And a great job
or De La
from Coach Stein. Now, granted, he had experience with the program, but, normally going from one to the other, there's maybe sometimes a dip. There didn't seem to be any dip in passing the torch. He, I think, even thought, hey, maybe 2 or 3 years in, we're going to be kind of where I want. But they saw some success early in the Superdome, and, man, they're putting themselves in position to be, right back in that.
Well, they played, 4 straight state championships. They've won 2.
He poor Miles with the best of them. Don't let him.
Where do you think he learned that from?
Yeah,
St. Thomas More over Brother Martin bad tonight. That one, not the St. Thomas More won, but the score of it was kind of surprising.
Let's get caught up on scores and around the state, and we'll start first in the capital city.
The Capital City Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care.
Dutchtown blanks Covington 38-0. Zachary over St. Aug 17-7. Port Allen a 37-6 winner over Livonia. Slidell all over Central 56-14. Walker is a 40-27 winner over Mandeville. Parkview blanks Burley 27-0. U High point better than Catholic High 31-30. Nastruma blanks Broadmoor 40-0.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, served by walk-ons.
Carr 48-14 winner over Warren Easton. St. Charles defeats Sterling's Catholic 48-20. St. James is a 24-14 winner over Thibodaux. Hanville 22-17 winner over North Shore. Destrehan defeats East Ascension 21-7. Episcopal shuts out Country Day 35-0. Archbishop Shaw 43, Archbishop Rummel 28, and Holy Cross 28-20 winner over Chalmette.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, pumped by Peak Performance.
Lafayette Christian defeats Jesuit 51-18. Vermilion Catholic and Lauraville still in progress. St. Thomas More all over Brother Martin 41-7. Evangel and Westgate also still in progress. Broadbridge and St. Martinville also still in progress. Cecilia blanks Northside 45-0. Sam Houston over Barb 36-22. And Abbeville 22. North Vermilion 18.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
Neville over Huntington, 50-20. Sterlington defeats Oak Grove, 42-35. Captain Shreve over Union Parish, 34-20. General Trask and Homer still in progress. West Washita 17, Richwood 7. Manny and Houghton in overtime. Logansport 34, Peabody 6, and West Monroe over Delhi Charter 44-8.
The North Shore Scoreboard, restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Ascension Catholic over Archbishop Hannon 42-16. St. Paul 14, De La Salle 6. Bogalusa and Salmon still in progress. Fontainebleau a 22-21 winner over Franklinton. Hammond defeats South Terrebonne 32-10. Catholic Point Capee over Independence 36-6. Kentwood defeats East Feliciana 39-6. And Pine shuts out Pearl River 41-0.
Don't have time for a new rash?
I don't have time for this.
We're here to help with convenient virtual visits on your computer or any mobile device. If you don't have time to be sick, feel better faster with Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Scooncha fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water, they can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor, so you stay right where you need to in casting lines, or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast? All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front to back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Step inside an Infiniti QX50, and you'll...
Back to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Week 3 edition of the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care. On 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, our audience on YourView, thanks so much for tuning in, or if you're watching us on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube page. It's time for us to jump on the hotline and welcome in our first guest of the evening, head coach of Karen Crow, fresh off a 19-14 win over Southside. Coach Tony Corville is our guest. Coach, thanks so much for a couple minutes for us tonight.
Yeah, how you doing, guys? Thanks for having me.
Doing great, Coach. You want to go ahead and tell everybody the new name of your offense you told me about?
Well, we call it the veer and shoot.
Veer and shoot.
Veer and shoot. We still, by our DNA, offensive-wise, we're still going to be a veer offense. But we've kind of morphed in some kind of 3-by-1 and 2-by-2 formations and be able to throw some passes and stuff. And it started last year, really, and it's kind of developed, and we just carried over through the spring and now with offense right now.
Jimmy, they got some pretty guys on the outside, too, that can catch it and run.
Coach, are you talking true run and shoot from like Houston used to do back in the day?
No, not at all. I mean, I just use the word run, veer because we run the veer, and then because now we're trying to throw the ball a bit more. Not formation-wise, not at all.
I had Steve Insminger tell me a long time ago, if you can run option offense and throw the football, it makes you almost impossible to beat because stopping the veer, and now you have a few teams in that district with Karen Crow, Southside, Acadiana, several of them are doing it now, but you don't see it a whole lot. So you spend so much time trying to stop the veer and then also trying to stop a passing attack. It makes it almost impossible to prepare for both.
Well, you're exactly right. And my background was as a defensive coordinator, and that kind of stuff made me not sleep at night. You know what I'm saying? So when I got the opportunity to become a head coach and try to develop the program we wanted, this was what I wanted to do because I knew I hated to defend it. So let's try to do it against our opponents, and that's what we're doing now.
Coach, I watched your quarterback Babineau late in the game. I mean, he was full sprint coming to the left, I believe, and just made a beautiful touch pass. I think it was to number 9, and that's not an easy pass when you're amped up, and I can see why you want to throw it more. It seems like he's got good touch and good understanding where to go with the football.
Well, you're exactly right. I mean, first of all, he's an extremely talented athlete. And he's left-handed. He was sprint to his right and threw back to his left to make it a little bit easier for him. But he's our go-to guy. Last year as a freshman, he was a wide out. But he's really a quarterback, and we're so fortunate to have him with us now and doing the things he does. Last night, in the last play of the game, he played defensive back and he set a pass to steal the game.
The good thing about it, Todd, is he's a sophomore. That's the best.
Oh, he is?
He's a sophomore. That's the best part of it. Coach, a name we are familiar with is Kashmir Batiste. He had a 3-yard run with, 13 seconds left in the game, I believe it was?
Yeah, we were in a little option pitch with him. But the last 2 games, Kashmir has been a really spark plug for us. I mean, I think he's averaging about 140 yards rushing the game and about 100 yards receiving. So he's been a real special threat for us.
And, Coach, last year, if I'm not mistaken, you had a lot of 3- and 4-year starters on both sides of the offensive and defensive line, and you're replacing those guys this year. How are your lines doing?
Well, you're exactly right. Well, we have 5 returning starters on both sides of the ball, so we have a little inexperience, obviously. But these kids, the ones that are coming back, have been very talented kids and working hard to get better, each day. So, I mean, for week 3, what we've done so far this year, I'm very happy what we're doing.
So, Coach, you scored to make it 14-13 last night. And Jimmy and I like to talk philosophy, and this is no way obviously second-guessing you because we just have so much respect for the job you do over there. But you ended up faking the extra point and going for two. And so Jimmy and I always had the discussion, why not leave your offense out there and go for two, especially as much success opposed to trying the fake field goal. Can you kind of share with us what was going through, what your thought process was on that?
Sure. Well, first of all, we're very aggressive in all three phases of the game. And every day for 20 minutes we work on special teams and 2-point plays. The previous touchdown, when we lined up in the same formation, we had to play the goal. I chose to kick it. The second time we did the same alignment, and I thought so I called it. But we just, the kids slipped on the 1 yard line, so those things happen. No regrets.
So and also, this was a defensive battle. Let's get that straight right off the bat. And your defense came up really big. Southside's going in for the win with 3 minutes left in the game. They're up 14-13. They're inside your 25, and your defense creates a turnover.
Thank God.
Coach.
Thank God. Exactly. First of all, I think one thing that Coach Fontenot and his staff does a tremendous job. Those kids play extremely hard. They're a very tough ball squad. They're going to be a record. They're going to be a record to be reckoned with. Thank God, we finally bottled up the quarterback because he'd been kind of hurt us on the option and ball hit the ground. And when it happened, the kids just knew we were going to have a chance. And thank God they did.
Coach, before we let you go, who's your offensive line coach?
I actually have two offensive line coaches, Joey Dewar and Jarek Franchek. Two kids that I actually coached when they were in high school. They both teach math, but they're extremely awesome young men and teach, do extremely great job on the offensive line.
They come off the ball great. I love it.
Yeah, and both of them are former offensive line players. But for what we do, they do a tremendous job for us. I'm extremely proud of them.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time here on the show. Congratulations on this win, and best of luck moving forward.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Good night, guys.
Coach Tony Corville over at Karen Crow.
So let me tell you, at one point in the game, it was 14-7. Karen Crow fumbles the ball at midfield. Southside picks it up and is returning it, and then Karen Crow rips it back from them, and they restart the possession. At 14-7. And there was a lot of things that could have gone one way or another, but I'll tell you the reason that guy fumbled the ball is because the announcers the play before said, Southside's done a great job of protecting that football. I swear to God. And next time.
When you run that type of offense, and Southside has had a little bit of history of it, if your meshes are not perfect and your pitch is not perfect, you're going to have some turnovers. And Southside has done a pretty good job of fixing some of that from last year. This is the first loss in 11 regular season games, I think, for Southside.
They've been on point since coming into high school football here in Louisiana. Other Thursday night scores of note: Calvary Baptist over Byrd. Calvary now 3-0 in the season. Byrd falls to 0-3.
I think Byrd lost 19 starters off of last year's team, if I'm not mistaken. But Calvary, wow, what have they done? They've beaten two 5A opponents back-to-back weeks and have averaged 51.5 points in doing so. They beat Captain Shreve 61-27. Calvary started fast again and scored on their second play with a touch, Abram Wardell to John Simon on a 77-yard touchdown pass. Byrd fumbled the ensuing kickoff. Calvary recovers it for a touchdown. It was 28-0 after the first quarter, 42-0 at half, playing with a running clock in the first half and in the second half. Calvary outgained Byrd 417-44 in the first half.
So let me go ahead, sir.
I want to talk about this and get your thoughts on this, Todd. Abram Wardell, the junior quarterback, was 15 of 18, 365, 4 touchdowns. Okay, so he's 57 for 72 on the year, 1,045 yards, 11 touchdowns. He's completing 79%. For the second year in a row, Calvary's lost a backup quarterback to the kid who is lost out. Now, they have one of them, Bryce Carpenter, who's transferred to Loyola. He's a senior. He'll be eligible week 4. And then they just had this freshman,
Houston.
Peyton Houston, transfer to Evangel.
Because he was not
because they're not getting the reps. It's mind-boggling.
It is mind-boggling because you're a ninth grader and you're splitting reps. I think he was getting some reps, but according to me, I wouldn't be giving him any if this cat's 57 to 72.
He played half the game last week, or a quarter and a half at least. He was going to play a half a game this week. And I think Calvary has Westgate coming up. But once they get to district, you're going to play half of the game.
But let me ask you this. To me, it bothers me because I think you're running from competition. Now, you might say, no, we're not doing that, but I don't like guys jumping around like that. I think it's just
a perfect example, and I think it's Sanoma. Was it the young man who played a significant amount of starting time last year?
He was the starter.
There was another young man who won the starting role in front of him. First play of the drive in the opening week, he goes down, and then the other man is right there. You're always a play away, and if you stay there and you roll out, it's just.
That's Chase Kelly. Comes in last night, and he leads them to a 20-14 win over JFK. They scored all their points in the third quarter. Chase Kelly's his name. Had 2 touchdown passes, both of them for 36 yards. Yeah. I mean, he finished with 185 yards last night.
Who were the passes to?
They were to Jermichael Millen and Brody Kernan.
All right. There you go, Brody.
Both of them, 36 yards. And look, Newman goes to Benton and wins 37-27. They haven't missed a beat with losing Arch Manning.
You kind of wonder if it doesn't really help. And
the pressure's off. There's so much attention. The spotlight. Yeah. Eli Friend's been awesome. He's accounted for 5 touchdowns last night. Newman jumps out to a 30-7 lead in the third quarter. Friend rushed for 3 touchdowns, had touchdown passes to Anthony Jones and Peter Loop, and they host Manny next week.
I was going to say that Manny rematch is coming up.
Yeah, I think we mentioned them playing possibly St. Charles. I think they have St. Charles has De La Salle and then Newman.
Manny won 45-42. I'm interested to see if they went back to their running game and not throwing it.
Be interesting.
I think this time Manny comes to Newman, right?
Manny comes to Newman.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a time out because there's lots more to get to. Another full scoreboard coming your way here on this Week 3 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and your view.
Mom, what's for breakfast? Don't have time for a cold? A cut? Those allergies? Or a sprain?
I really don't have time for this.
Lake Urgent Care is here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. Plus, we're kid-friendly and open 7 days a week, including holidays and weekends. When you don't have the time to be sick or hurt, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
Don't have time for a cold? A cut? Those allergies? Or a sprain?
I really don't have time for this.
Lake Urgent Care is here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. Plus, we're kid-friendly and open 7 days a week, including holidays and weekends. When you don't have the time.
Coach Devin Ducote from West Louisiana High School, and you're listening to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
The Capital City Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care.
Dutchtown blanks Covington 38-0. Zachary a 17-7 winner over St. Aug. Port Allen a 37-6 winner over Livonia. Central shuts out Slidell 42-0. Walker 40-27 winner over Mandeville. Parkview defeats Bruley 27-0. U-High 31, Catholic High 30. And Estruma 40. Broadmoor 0.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, served by walk-ons.
Edna Carr 48, Warren Easton 14. St. Charles a 48-20 winner over Turlings Catholic. St. James a 24-14 winner over Thibodaux. Onville defeats North Shore 22-17. Destrehan's a 21-7 winner over East Ascension. Episcopal shuts out Country Day 35-0. Archbishop Shaw 43, Rummel 28, and Holy Cross 28, Chalmette 20.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, pumped by Peak Performance.
Lafayette Christian defeats Jesuit 51-18. Vermilion Catholic and Lauraville still in progress. St. Thomas More all over Brother Martin 41-7. Evangel and Westgate are also still in progress. St. Martinville defeats Breaux Bridge 40-19. Cecilia blanks Northside 45-0. Sam Houston defeats Barb 36-22. And Abbeville 22. North Vermilion 18.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
Neville over Huntington 50-20. Sterlington defeats Oak Grove 42-35. Captain Shreve over Union Parish 34-20. Homer defeats General Trask 55-38. West Washita 17-7 winner over Richwood. Manny in overtime defeats Houghton 45-42. Logansport defeats Peabody 34-6. And West Monroe 44, Delhi Charter 8.
The North Shore Scoreboard, restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Ascension Catholic over Hannon 42-16. St. Paul 14-6 winner over De La Salle. Bogalusa 39, Solomon 20. Fontainebleau is a 22-21 winner over Franklinton. Hammond 32, South Terrebonne 10. Catholic Point Capede defeats Independence 36-6. Kentwood a 39-6 winner over East Feliciana, and Pine shuts out Pearl River 41-0.
Thanks to Skip and Casey and Ryan behind the scenes making things happen. If you want to find a score that you didn't hear us announce on the radio, watch on your view or on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. On the bottom of the screen, we have a scrolling ticker with a complete scoreboard. All games that are final from around the state, you'll find it there. Staying in the North Shore here just for a second, Hammond picking up a nice win over South Terrebonne, 32-10. Hammond playing quite well, and
Coach Buckles doing a good job.
Yep. Catholic Point Capee over Independence, 34-6.
Central Private with a win. That's their coach's first one, 44-0 over Gaydon. How about that? How about Guymastrat and Dutchtown? They're playing well.
Their defense is really
I was going to
strong.
spotlight, yeah. I mean, you can go back to last year and how they've kind of carried over.
Well, in Covington, they were good, and they did have an injury, but the running back didn't play defense.
No. David Harris is a running back Todd's talking about. He's averaging 130 a game. Went down with what looks like to be an apparent knee injury last week. I don't know his status, though.
It was 36-6 over Independence. Thanks, Coach Wyatt. All right. Give us a bad score. I just don't understand that.
Who?
Coach Wyatt over at Catholic Point Capee.
Let's go ahead and jump on the hotline, and we are going to join a victorious head coach, David Brewerton, from out in Zachary. They get the win over St. Aug tonight, 17-7. Coach, thanks so much for your time tonight here on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard.
I certainly appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me on, man.
Man, I tell you what, we got some good food from some partners of yours down the road.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, South Plains, man, hooked us up tonight.
Yeah. Joel took care of y'all.
Joel took care of it. We saw you.
That's what I'm talking about.
I saw your little private meeting room up there.
We need some help because that was a lot of food, Coach.
Coach,
I'm glad they took care of y'all, man. That's great.
Coach, take us through this one, man. It wasn't pretty. Let's be honest. In the first half, it was, for a first drive, it was you rough the passer on 3rd and 9. They convert 3 third downs, a 4th down, and when you got the ball to go down and tie it with 8-something left in the first half, you put together a 3-minute drive. They had ran 30 plays to your 11.
Right.
But, we talked a little bit about it earlier in the show. I know you weren't happy at all, but you had to be thankful it was 7-7.
Oh, there's no question now. No question. I mean, we spent the better part of 2 weeks getting ready for this thing, and what we talked all this week about the things that had to happen, and it's funny because you watch the game play out, and I felt like we had to get off the field on 3rd down. Defensively, we didn't do that. I feel like we had to win 1st and 2nd down to make 3rd down manageable on offense. We didn't do that. So, yeah, you go into halftime and it's 7-7. I'm incredibly thankful that it was only 7-7 at that point, and I'm very glad that we never installed those recording speakers or anything in the locker room with halftime type stuff. You know what I mean?
I'd have loved to heard it.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Came out in the second half, and our defense, I just felt like we lined up wrong a lot in the first half, and those things kind of got fixed and started bringing a lot more pressure in the second half, and there was a play that was right at the end of the third quarter that I think changed the game. I think they had like a 3rd and 5, and we sent a blitz off the edge and just crushed the quarterback and sacked fumble. We pick it up and run it down, I don't know, probably to the other 30. Now, we didn't get points on the drive, but I'll tell you, you just kind of felt a change happen right there in the game. And we were able to put 2 scores up, I think, in the fourth quarter and kind of put the game away. So I'm going to tell you, anytime Purple rolls in and they got the band that's blowing those horns, you can't hear yourself think. And we played with some guts tonight. I'm proud of our guys for that. And once I think we get everything ironed out, I think it really hurt us not playing last week. But once we think we get everything lined out, we'll be okay.
I think, Coach, each year your teams a head coach's team presents different issues. Like, for instance, it might be something like football IQ, or it could be, whatever. Is there a particular issue that this team presents that you're working on getting through, like experience or something to that nature?
Well, I think that we have an interesting deal going on here. We are we're a senior-laden starting team, but not seniors that have a bunch of experience. So they're older, but they're just not real experienced yet. And so we're working through some of that. Of course, we got a 2-quarterback system going, and tonight, the Spangler kid came in and just dropped an absolute bomb. He ran a sprint out to the left side and threw a moon rocket missile about 50 yards, and we caught it in the back of the end zone to go up 14-7, and it was really pretty to watch. But so that's kind of weird. You know what I mean? Like our team is just kind of, still working on a quarterback deal. So you got 2 of them playing, and you're just working through some inexperience right now. But I'm okay with working through that inexperience as long as we're winning those games on Friday night. You know what I mean? Like we're not having to learn from losing, so that's a good thing. We have to take it week by week and try to keep getting better each week.
Coach, real quick before we go to a break, our State Farm Student Athlete of the Week is Luke Wisham from Zachary High School. He's the only guy you have playing on both sides of the football, wide receiver, safety. I saw him a whole lot on defense tonight. Looked really good. Has a 3.0 GPA, committed to UL. Tell us a little bit about him.
His tongue's dragging right now, I can promise you. He played a lot of snaps tonight. But I've been pleased with Luke. He comes high football lineage there. He had an older brother that played at UL, and he's got another brother that was a running back for us, Connor Wisham. He's playing at Prairie View now. So, he knows the deal. But he's football smart, and he does a good job for us on both sides of the ball. He really does. He's voted a team captain by his peers, and just one of those guys that does a great job. And his mom is the team mom, so that's a huge thing as well. Miss Michelle gets it done for pregame meal and everything else. So the Wisham family's been a part of our football program for a long time, and he's the next good one in line, no doubt.
Well, Coach, we're up against a break, but heck of a comeback win. Shows you survived the momentum wave early in the game like we talked about this morning, and was able to come through with a good second half and shut out a team and actually hold a team to 7 points that came in averaging 55.5. So a hell of a night for your defense. Congratulations, and hopefully you can find a little bit of time this weekend to go shoot a few birds.
Oh, that's
I know you've been busy.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
All right, buddy.
Later.
There you go, David Brewerton from Zachary. As we mentioned, they get the win over St. Aug tonight. Revenge from a season ago in their second game of the season after last week's inadvertent bye week.
The last place you would find me tomorrow in this 100-degree heat is trying to shoot a bird. I wouldn't be shooting no damn bird. I would shoot the bird, all right, but it wouldn't be no flying bird.
Yeah. I've driven with you before. We'll take a timeout. We'll be right back. Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water, they can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines, or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further. like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
Do you think you have COVID-19?
I'm worried I may have COVID.
We're open 7 days a week for both rapid COVID and antibody testing. Life is busy. You don't have time. Get your results fast at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
The interior of an Infiniti is thoughtfully designed to be all about you. And by you, we mean every version of you. Because there's luxury you can feel, and there's luxury that lets you feel. Infinitely you.
Prep football from Carr to Karen Crow. Louisiana Prep Scoreboard with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Real short segment here, but I want a chance to thank our friends at BSN Sports, bsnsports.com. They're the best supplier when it comes to your team, your coaches, your athletes out there, your radio host out there. We saw Scott Nielsen on the sidelines.
Best ball
today.
boy in the state also.
Without a doubt. And that is, they've got all the name brands you know and love, all the equipment you need. It's one stop, bsnsports.com. More coming up next.
Don't have time for a stomach virus?
I don't have time to be sick today.
When you're sick after hours or weekends, you don't have time to wait around. Save time and money and feel better faster with Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Scooncha fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front to back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines, or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front to back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile. on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Would a couple that just came from a couples massage have any use for the massage seats of the Infiniti QX60? Yes, it appears they would. With driver and passenger massage seats, mute all your notifications and feel infinitely you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Baton Rouge. The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. From the Jamborees to the Superdome, your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Todd Black, Jimmy Roy, and Cade Wazan.
Welcome into the Week 3 edition of the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, Jimmy Roy. We got Ryan Kennedy, we got Casey Gaines, and we got Skip Petrera back behind the scenes, gathering our scores, producing our show tonight. If you're missing a score, you can find it on the ticker on the screen if you're watching on your view, if you're watching on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. We've got regional scores coming up in just a bit. If you want to report a score, you can call Ryan. He'd love to talk to you. 225-499-1045.
Or if you just want to talk to Ryan, call.
Westside will call him in a minute.
I'm sure. I'm sure he's looking forward to that. And we're also efforting a couple of coaches who were victorious tonight, and we've had some great conversations already with Coach Tony Corville and Coach David Brewerton.
Before we go to a scoreboard, Dixon McMakin sent us some stats on the Catholic High U-High game. Wait, this is the wrong one.
That one went down to the wire. U-High winning 31-30. It was back and forth in that second half.
Okay. Congratulations to Thrive Academy winning their second game ever that was not a forfeit.
So 31-30. Both Catholic High ran 62 plays for 291 yards. U-High ran 61 plays for 293 yards.
Wow.
Punting, both teams punted 6 times. Fumbles lost was 0. 4 of 14 time on third down conversions for Catholic, 6 of 13. That was a little bit of difference. Both teams were in the red zone 4 opportunities, and both teams scored all 4 times they got into the red zone. So, I mean, this game was not only close on the field, but statistically speaking, it was really close too. The one thing that stood out to me is the penalties. Catholic High, 16 penalties, 166 yards. U-High, 10 penalties and 100 yards. That's both coaches will be addressing that.
What about interceptions? There was no. I don't think Bill had any.
Interceptions. Bill had none, and Picarella was 19 of 32, 2 interceptions, 257 yards, 3 touchdowns.
So both teams combined for more than 2 football fields of penalties in a game that came down to a kick at the very end. And you go back and you think, because I know how coaches do, they'll sit there, they probably won't get much sleep tonight thinking about, well, this and what if that. And you take back some of those situations that maybe stalled a drive, extended a drive for somebody else, and maybe this is a different ballgame. But, I mean, for those out there, for those listening, for those watching on VSN tonight, got one heck of a ball game.
Well, I'll say this, and it's like clockwork. You're not a very good team if you're not disciplined. You got to be disciplined.
Right.
And those 2 coaches don't really, I'm sure that they're not going to be very happy about that, and they're going to correct that as quick as they possibly can.
And without knowing the stat sheet, so it's not a fair comparison, but this is why I would guess teams like the old Notre Dames or the current St. Charles win so often, is they're not kicking themselves these extra penalty yards. They play so clean.
Perfect example, U-High kicks a field goal to win it at the end and misses it. Catholic High roughs the kicker, moves it up 15 yards for a chip shot, and they make the field goal, and that costs the ball game.
But how about when U-High went up? Didn't they kick it out of bounds and have a personal foul?
Exactly. They went up, 28-24,
like
I think.
that.
Yeah, it was 28-24. 3 minutes or so left. They kick it out of bounds, so they're going to get a short field and get a personal foul.
Well, we talked about this with Coach Brew, and you and I and Skip talked about this at the game. I mean, that personal foul that roughened the passer on Zachary, I mean, that cost them 7 points.
Alleged personal foul.
Excuse me. I mean, they would have had great field position.
Come on, dude.
They would have had great field position. Oh, it's a fun atmosphere. Zachary football. Let's get you caught up on scores around the state, and we'll start first in the capital city.
The Capital City Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care.
Dutchtown blanks Covington 38-0. Zachary a 17-7 winner over St. Aug. Port Allen a 37-6 winner over Livonia. Central shuts out Slidell 42-0. Walker 40, Mandeville 27. Parkview 27-0 winner over Bruley. University High, the field goal defeats Catholic High 31-30. Struma blanks Broadmoor 40-0.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, served by walk-ons.
Edna Carr 48, Warren Easton 14, St. Charles Catholic 48, Turlings Catholic 20. St. James was a 24-14 winner over Thibodeau. Hanville defeats North Shore 22-17. Destrehan over East Ascension 21-7. Episcopal blanks Country Day 35-0. Archbishop Shaw 43, Archbishop Rummel 28. And Holy Cross 28, Chalmette 0.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, pumped by Peak Performance.
Lafayette Christian defeats Jesuit 58-18. Vermilion Catholic 27, Laurelville 21. St. Thomas More over Brother Martin 41-7. Westgate's finishing off Evangel 34-12. St. Martinville 40, Robridge 19. Cecilia blanks Northside 45-0. Sam Houston over Barb 36-22. And Abbeville 22-18 winner over North Vermilion.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
Neville defeats Huntington 50-20. Sterlington a 42-35 winner over Oak Grove. Captain Shreve 34, Union Parish 20. Homer 55, General Trask 38. West Washita is a 17-7 winner over Richwood. Manny in overtime defeats Houghton 45-42. Logan Sport 34, Peabody 6. And West Monroe 44, Delhi Charter 8.
The North Shore Scoreboard. Restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Ascension Catholic defeats Hannon 42-16. St. Paul over De La Salle 14-6. Bogalusa 39-20 winner over Salmon. Fontainebleau a point better than Franklinton 22-21. Hammond defeats South Terrebonne 32-10. Catholic Point Capee was a 36-6 winner over Independence. Kentwood over East Feliciana 39-6. And Pine blanks Pearl River 41-0.
Welcome back to the Week 3 edition of the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show presented by Lake Urgent Care. Thank you, Skip, getting our scores throughout the night. If you missed any score that Skip read, or if you want to get a complete scoreboard, you're watching on your viewer, you're watching on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, we have that scrolling ticker throughout the night. That's got a complete scoreboard from around the state. We now jump back on our hotline, and we join head coach Lee Doty from over there at Sterlington as they get the win tonight over Oak Grove. Coach, congratulations on the win, and thanks so much for joining us.
Man, I appreciate it. It was a big win for us, no doubt.
This was a wild one, huh, Coach?
Yes, sir. It'll make an old man out of you quick.
Hey, you trailed early in this game, like 28-14. You got an interception, I think, late in the first half, kind of turned the game around a little for you.
No doubt. The interception was huge, right at about a minute right before halftime, and that kind of changed momentum of the game. And, heck of a ball game, man, I'm telling you.
Seems like, Coach, you got a lot of speed on offense is what I'm reading here, starting with your quarterback, your new quarterback. Is it Downs?
Yeah, Dylan Downs.
Dylan Downs. Not sure how fast we are, but we got some football speed. I don't think we're ever going to win any track meets, but I'm proud of our kids, man, the way they fought tonight, no doubt.
It's Jimmy and I talk a lot of times when guys will say, hey, what's so-and-so run? We're like, I don't know, but he ain't never been caught.
Yes, sir, and that's kind of how we are right now. So, but, man, I'm telling you what, y'all should have been here. Y'all would have seen a good one.
Coach, you mentioned speed and things like that, but one thing that when Sterlington's good, they have a good offensive line. And you're a lot better this year, and the leader of that is Mitch Hodnett, TCU commit.
Yeah, man, we do. We have a good O-line. We got a good O-line coach, and actually have two of them that do a great job. Mitch has done a good job for us. Will Waxter's having a heck of a year for us out there at tackle as well on the other side. So proud to have both of them guys. Both of them are seniors and played a lot of football, and you can tell.
Do they spoil you, Coach? When you have somebody who's been there as 3-year starters, I mean, it kind of makes you comfortable a little bit.
Yeah, they definitely spoil you, and because you can count on them. But them guys, we're going to enjoy them when we got them. I promise you that.
Tremel Coleman's a name we've been calling for years. How's he doing for you?
Well, man, he probably had his best game tonight he's had so far, and he's just going to keep getting better. We have two backs that we rely on, so him and Hagan Herring are both running the football really well for us. Cody Copeland had a big night for us at fullback. So, man, I'm telling you, that was a heck of a war, and we're just happy to get out of that thing with a victory.
Coach, earlier in the season, you lost to West Monroe 14-3, and it was very obvious you weren't into moral victories. And you kind of set the bar for your team right then and there, saying, hey, we should be able to play, if not beat these type of guys. And I think you guys have those physical games really help you out as you're getting down through the season.
Well, I tell you what, if physical games are going to help us out, then the West Monroe game and that one tonight, we should be in very good shape because that game tonight was very physical. I don't mind telling you, Oak Grove's the best team we played this year, and they're going to be trouble in their division.
Coach, real quick, it's rare to have a punter like you do, but Aiden Parker's rated the number 3 punter in the country as a junior.
Really?
And he had a good night last week, kicking field goals and stuff. And, I'll be honest with you guys, I turned down a field goal tonight to go for it. And you know, I was sick about it at the end of regulation because we would have won the game. But anyway, he's a good kicker, man. He's going to go somewhere, and he's going to play a lot of football.
Coach, last year you went through a very, let's say, un-Sterling-like year, record-wise. Yeah. What was the message in the off-season? And did some of your senior guys, Todd, talking about several 3-year starters, the leadership they took over on that?
Well, they did. They took the bull by the horns, and but I think the message was, you know, we need to find ways to win instead of find ways to lose, and I thought that's what we did tonight. You know, so you know, happy for our kids that they're getting the message.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time here on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard. Congratulations on this win, and best of luck moving forward.
Man, I appreciate you having me, man. As always, go Panthers.
Thank you, Coach. We did get an update on Westside. Westside won in overtime, 33-30 over Caprock.
This is their first overtime win of the season?
I think so.
You know, I think sometimes where South Louisiana and North Louisiana are a little different. You know, you have Sterlington that's off of 165. You have Oak Grove off of I-20. And those towns are gone. I mean, it's just like you're going down the road. You see the stadium lights from miles away. It's packed, and the games, you know, you see 2A, 3A football. It's just a little bit different there.
It's community-based.
Yeah, it is.
And that's what you do. I mean, it's when you go to a Zachary, or you go to Dutchtown, or you go – I can remember Northeast back in the day. When the Pine – this was before you and I coached there, but I went there to watch Peyton Manning and them play, and the field was lined with those pine trees. I mean, that's high school football to me. You go to a place like Central. You go to these small communities. You can go out to Iota, Iowa. Everybody goes. That's the main event in those towns.
St. Martinville.
Yeah.
What was that one with the guy in the deer stand?
That was the Jennings. That was a baseball game.
A baseball game.
That was a true story.
There we go, hunting again.
Hey, congratulations staying up in that section of the state, the 318. Alexandria getting their first win of the season tonight.
over Natchitoches Central. Yeah. I don't have the final in front of me, but it was big.
59-14, I think. But, you know, they've only lost to St. Thomas More, and who was the other?
Crow.
Yeah.
I mean, you know. So
both on the road. This was their first game. They also got to play at home on their new turf.
Hey, speaking of new turf.
LA Turf.
Cleaners.
Yeah. You know, look, we saw some new turf tonight, but look, Jimmy was explaining, you know, every so often you got to get some of this changed. But if you've got a turf, the thing that blew me away about what they do is that they'll pick up stuff that you never knew was even there. And the pictures, if you go on their Twitter, the pictures of what they pick up, it's like, I could have been rolling around on that. Metal pieces and shards of stuff.
Jerry Myers. Yep.
Ooh, man. Look, can we get the State Farm guys pulled up here on
absolutely
on the screen? Yeah. We mentioned the State Farm student athlete being Luke Wisham up there, but also Drew Dillio, Brian Moe, Mitch Mueller, and Byron Gill do a really, really good job. And I want to congratulate Byron Gill and the Gill family, as Glen Oaks High School is going to name the stadium after his dad, Nolan Gill, next Friday. And I think that's a very, very good thing for the Gill family.
At Denham as well as Glen Oaks.
Yeah. Also, he coached at Tara at one time.
Well, they had a crew at Tara at one time with Benny. Yeah, they had.
I want to say Coach Prescott was there. Yep. Coach Longmire was there. I mean, yeah, they've had some good staffs over at Tara High School for sure.
Well, we got lots more scores to get to, and hopefully a couple more coaches will pick up, and we'll have some great conversations before we head out of here on this Week 3 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Your View.
At Louisiana Turf Cleaning, our number one priority is athlete safety. We specialize in sanitizing and general cleaning maintenance of artificial turf sports fields. From the constant wear and tear on the field to the bacterial, mold, and viruses that get under those turf fibers, we take care of it all. We also remove any unseen metal in the turf that could potentially cut an athlete. For more information, call me, Kerry Myers, to get a quote today, 504-453-6950. And let Louisiana Turf Cleaning keep your playing surface safe, 504-453-6950.
Don't have time for a trampoline injury?
We don't have time for this today.
We're here with online check-in so you can wait from anywhere. Plus, on-site digital x-rays. If you don't have time to be heard, feel better faster with Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water, they can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines, or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside off the bench. Coaches and a radio professional. Gee, I wonder who wrote that one. Louisiana Prep Scoreboard with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the Week 3 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care, Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. And we jump back on the hotline and speak to another victorious head coach of Hammond, Coach Dorset Buckles, joins us. They get a 32-10 win over South Terrebonne, the Gators, tonight. Coach, congratulations on the win. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, thank you. How you all doing?
We're doing great.
Hey, Coach, somebody's telling me you're not very happy with a 32-10 win, that you felt like maybe you should have played a little bit better. Is that true?
I'm
picking on you, man.
Well, actually, I am kind of upset because, we had too many penalties tonight, and we just have to straighten that out, But I was upset about that because we almost had 200 yards worth of penalties, so I'm very upset with that. So we just got to go back to the drawing boards on Monday, and correct all that stuff,
Coach Buckles, you and I set up in the suites last year for the better almost a better part of a day watching championship games. and you were talking about your vision and what you wanted to create at Hammond. You were talking about more than just football, to the academic sides, to the community side. Just tell us your vision, or tell the other people your vision of what you want to create at Hammond.
Well, I just want us to be great in all aspects of life, and I tell my boys that at all times. Just last semester, last year, we had over 30, just 2 years in a row, over 30 boys with student athletes with a 3.0 to a 4.0. So I'm excited about that. And this year we dare to surpass that. So, I'm excited about it. The kids are doing a great job competing not only on the field but in the classroom as well. So, that's what we're trying to do, is just continue to be great. If we do it in the classroom and in the community, the football game, it's going to follow. We're going to do great things on the field as well,
Well, take us through the game tonight. How'd it go besides the penalties?
Well, I can tell you my running back, he had this is his second straight week with over 200 yards. He had 4 touchdowns. Eli Johnson, he done a tremendous job. Like I say, we just got to clean up some things, and I'm very proud of my kids, the way we compete. But like I say, in order to win in a tough district like we are in, we're going to have to clean up the penalties,
So, Coach, there are penalties and then there's stupid penalties.
Right.
Are you referring to, the stuff that want to make you pull their hair out?
Well, some. Holding. We held a lot. I think we got 2 personal. I think it was more so of the holding.
Mm-hmm.
So personal fouls though, but we're gonna be all right. Like I say, we just got to go back to the drawing board, and play tornado ball, and I'm excited about it.
Tell us about Eli Johnson. He had a big night for you.
Eli Johnson had a big night for us, man. Like I say, he scored 4 touchdowns. Against A-Mead, he had 150. Last week against Riverdale, he had 200. I think 206 or something. This week he had 200 and something. So he's really running the ball. He's doing what he's supposed to do. At 5'10", 205 pounds, he's doing exactly what we want him to do.
That seems like a tank.
Oh,
solid.
Yeah, it is.
Is this the one that got hurt last year? Didn't you?
Well, no, sir. He didn't get hurt last year. It was Jaheim Johnson, the one who got hurt last year. He's now in Tulane.
I got it. All right, well, Coach, we appreciate you taking a little bit of your time and joining us tonight, and look forward to hearing from you again. And good luck the rest of the way.
We finally caught up with him.
Thank you.
That's right.
Hey, yes, sir. Thank you all so much. I'm actually in the emergency room right now with one of my players, just to make sure that he's okay.
Hey,
the
way we met was through Brock. Deanna hooked us up and brought his staff up there. We had a good time that day.
That's it. We did.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Hey, thank y'all so much. Y'all have a great night.
All right, you too. And
Yes,
just to clarify, Jimmy was talking about the Superdome Suite is where they had a great time, not in an emergency room.
No.
I just wanted to clarify.
So Hammond 3-0 in 6-5A. That it's interesting. We were talking about Mandeville just a couple of seconds ago, losing tonight to Walker. We've seen Ponchatoula play some Baton Rouge area teams this season. They're 2-1. St. Paul 2-1. Covington 1-2. Slidell 1-2. And North Shore looking to pick up their first win still.
I thought that was a big win for Walker over Mandeville. Mandeville is much improved in their second year under Craig Jones from what they were last year.
And Franklinton lost to Fontainebleau, and Fontainebleau had been struggling, and
and who'd they beat last week?
Franklinton, Covington.
Franklin beat Covington last week. That's right.
And
we said it last week. That North Shore district is so weird. Usually they'll have one team that's a 8-2, 9-1. They really don't play the strongest competition, and then all of a sudden you'll see one get to the quarterfinals here and there, but they just have failed to take that next step. Sooner or later, one of those teams has to take it, other than Lakeshore. Lakeshore did and made it to the Dome a couple years in a row.
You wonder where all the talent, are they just split up amongst all the schools? Do they just play football? Baseball?
I don't know. Good question.
Lakeshore is on the downward spiral. They got throttled last night by somebody they shouldn't have, or typically. And that's
they lost to Chalmette. Lost to Chalmette last week, I think. Got beat bad.
I think Chalmette's pretty decent, but this team
they're better.
Yeah.
They're better. They're throwing the football a little bit more.
Yeah, and Hammond opens up district play in 6-5A next week on the road at Fontainebleau. So.
We're going to try to – have you tried to call Hunter Landry? We're going to try to get in touch with Hunter Landry. Jujuan Johnson, quarterback that we've talked about for LCA, has another phenomenal night. He had 8 carries for 269 yards against Jesuit, and he was 14 of 19 for 188 yards. He threw for 3 touchdowns and ran for 4. He's pushing Brock Berlin's career record for total yards. I'll go out on a limb. I think he needed like 4,000 yards. I don't have the exact number, but it's somewhere around there, and he's going to approach that.
Considering what he's getting every week.
Yeah, he's got a really good chance to beat that.
So as we offered a couple more coaches, we'll take a timeout, and we'll get back with another full scoreboard, as well as helmet stickers coming your way. And before we get out of here, this is the Week 3 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and your view.
Mom, what's for breakfast?
Don't have time for a cold? A cut? Those allergies? Or a sprain?
I really don't have time for this.
Lake Urgent Care is here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. Plus, we're kid-friendly and open 7 days a week, including holidays and weekends. When you don't have the time to be sick or hurt, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Scooncha fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Step inside an Infiniti QX50, and you'll find a suite of driver-focused features tailored to your tastes. But most of all, you'll find luxury that lets you feel infinitely you. Visit your local Infiniti retailer today.
Back to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. The Capital City Scoreboard. Presented by Lake Urgent Care.
Dutchtown blanks Covington 38-0. Zachary a 17-7 winner over St. Aug. Port Allen a 37-6 winner over Livonia. Central blanks Slidell 42-0. Walker a 40-27 winner over Mandeville. Parkview defeats Bruley 27-0. University High 31, Catholic High 30. And Estroma blanks Broadmoor 40-0.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard. Served by walk-ons.
Nicar 48, Warren Easton 14, St. Charles Catholic 48, Turlings Catholic 20. St. James defeats Thibodaux 24-14. Hanville over North Shore 22-17. Destrehan defeats East Ascension 21-7. Episcopal blanks Country Day 35-0. Archbishop Shaw 43, Rummel 28. And Holy Cross 28, Chalmette 20.
The Acadiana Scoreboard. Pumped by Peak Performance.
Lafayette Christian all over Jesuit 51-18. Vermilion Catholic 27, Laurelville 21. St. Thomas More defeats Brother Martin 41-7. Westgate over Evangel 34-12. St. Martinville defeats Breaux Bridge 40-19. Cecilia blanks Northside 45-0. Sam Houston over Barb 36-22. And Abbeville takes down North Vermilion 22-18.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard. Insured by State Farm.
Neville over Huntington 50-20. Sterlington a 42-35 winner over Oak Grove. Captain Shreve 34. Union Parish 20. Homer is a 55-38 winner over General Trask. West Washita 17-7 winner over Richwood. Manny defeats Houghton 45-42 in overtime. Logansport defeats Peabody 34-6. West Monroe defeats Delhi Charter 44-8.
The North Shore Scoreboard. Restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Ascension Catholic defeats Hannon 42-16. St. Paul a 14-6 winner over De La Salle. Bogalusa 39, Salmon 20. Fontainebleau 22-21 winner over Franklinton. Hammond a 32-10 winner over South Terrebonne. Catholic Point Capee 36, Independent 6. Kentwood a 39-6 winner over East Feliciana. And Pine shuts out Pearl River 41-0.
Thank you, Skip. Getting our scores from the North Shore, North and Central Louisiana, Acadiana, the capital city, New Orleans, and down on the Bayou tonight. We appreciate everyone tuning in, watching us on YourView, on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube page, or listening to 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. And speaking of Acadiana, we're going to go out to that area right now. Head coach Hunter Landry from Lafayette Christian, they get a big win tonight over Jesuit, 51-18. Coach, congratulations on the win, and welcome to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having me.
Hunter, I gotta see if this is who I'm talking to. Is your parents Phyllis and Gabi?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, Travis played. Your older brother's what? Brock?
My older brother's Brock. Yes, sir.
Okay, Travis played with him back with the Cajun Sluggers back in the day.
Oh Lord. Lord.
When Brock,
We're about 12 or 13 years
no,
old?
they were 14. Went to Disney with them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Been a long time.
Seems
You're
like
a
a long time ago.
You was a little rugrat running around back then.
Yes, sir.
Jimmy, you told me you didn't do all that travel ball stuff kind of then. You went to Disney?
The very first year they had it, it was called the Elite Eight. That's right.
Jimmy loves Let's talk basic football.
Yeah, let's
man.
talk football. Hunter, your first year taking over the head coaching job over there, you're the offensive coordinator last year. What are some of the things that you've had to learn going from the offensive coordinator to calling all the shots?
Yeah, it's a lot more than just X's and O's. You know, from the outside looking in, you think it's a lot of football-oriented stuff, which it is a little bit, but it's just everything in between, from making sure kids get fed, checking grades, and then once you get down to X's and O's, you know, I kind of have to be a little bit in the loop defensively, and then special teams, to where in the past it was just strictly offense. So a little bit more than what you realize, but you know, I have a pretty good staff, and kind of let the special teams coordinator and defensive coordinator handle everything that they do. And you know, if they need any input, I'll give my 2 cents. But you know, I kind of just trust them to get the job done.
Are you still calling the offense?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Me and Matt Standiford is our offensive line coach. He kind of gives it's a collective effort going into the game plan.
Well, look, Juwan Johnson, Juju, they call him over here.
Hey, Jimmy, before you give those stats, let's just ask him, how do you call plays for this dude? Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, he's awesome. He's one of the best kids I've been around, not only on the field, just off the field. The strides he's made as a quarterback is phenomenal. He, you know, he gets labeled as an athlete, which you know, rightfully so. He's a great runner, but his passing stats are up there with some of the best in the state. And you know, I think anybody would get a steal if they took him as a quarterback. But you know, he's going to be fine wherever he goes. You know, he's a tremendous worker. He busts his butt Monday through Thursday to be perfect, and then Friday he just comes out and executes the game plan, and he does it at a high level.
The stats we've received from him tonight, Hunter, is eight carries, 269 yards. Is that correct?
Yeah. Me and him are kind of similar. We kind of don't get caught up in the stats. I think the only stat that me and him look at is the win or loss column. And I think that just speaks volumes to him. You know, he's kind of getting a lot of attention right now with, you know, a record that he's coming up on. But he'll be the first one to tell you that don't matter to him. But yes, I think it's the right numbers. It was around something like that.
Okay, so let me ask you this: how many of those are designed runs, and how many is that where he makes a play?
I think out of the 8, probably 6 or 7 were design runs, and I think he only had one scramble maybe. And that's kind of what plays into him being a quarterback. He doesn't really look to run it a whole lot. He kind of understands every now and then he'll have to tuck the ball and take off, but he's looking to make a play down the field with his arm. One
thing you've done, y'all lost 3 seniors from your 3 starters off of your offensive line last year, but the young guys have really stepped up for you.
Yes, sir. That was kind of the question mark coming in was, you know, 3 new starters, and I think they've done a good job holding up. You know, we don't ask them to do a whole lot, you know, as far as blowing people off the ball like some offenses. You know, they just got to get good angles, good double teams, and kind of give Juwan a couple seconds for pass plays. And we have enough skill guys on both sides to be able to, you know, make some things happen.
You know, I think one thing that's always tough as coaches when you have new linemen is to get them to communicate. You know, I'm working with a group, and it's just like, you know, the defense don't know what you're saying. Just talk to each other, and they just the more they talk, the more they communicate, the better they are. And I'm sure it's good to have a couple of guys with experience on that line with those 3 young ones.
Right. And I mean, really the one that speaks for them the most is probably Juwan, because the 2 that have a lot of experience are quiet kids. You know, they don't communicate as much as I would like, but Juwan does a good job of, you know, taking in the information for the game plan, and he'll kind of give them ideas on where they need to be going or what to look out for, and so it's basically like having another coach on the field.
Hunter, who do y'all play next week?
We travel to Ruston.
2 run. Oh, wow.
Mm.
Wow.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so you have a very tough district over there.
Yes, sir.
Which a lot of teams don't. You have that, but you've also stepped up. You've put up 61 against Acadiana, 49 against Woodlawn, 42 are running with at the first half running clock, and then 51 against Jesuit, and then you go to Ruston, where you're going to see one of the best defenses in the state, and that's going to be a feature game for us also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tons of talent on both sides of the ball, but extremely talented on defense. They have a LSU commit, Tulane commit on the other side of the defensive line. Their middle linebacker, who we saw last year, I think he's a La Tech guy. Secondary wise, I think they returned a few from last year. So we're gonna have our hands full for sure.
Well, look, appreciate you coming on tonight. Congratulations on the win again. Lafayette Christian 51-18 winner over Jesuit. And look, tell the family I said hello.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all so much for having me.
I can remember going to watch Hunter play against Plaquemine in the playoffs when he was a quarterback at Breaux Bridge.
Long time ago.
Sure did.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all so much.
All right, buddy. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Heck of a lot of stats there for LCA. And, when you look at what they've built over the last couple of years and
Trev Falk did a phenomenal job.
Coming out there, it's another situation where you got a young man taking over, and there really hasn't been a dip in the performance.
You think we could get somebody with a private jet to fly us to Ruston next week and back at halftime to watch that game?
Let me think. Maybe.
In the meantime, making sure you've got the fundamentals down is kind of part of the game and something we try to work on each and every week. But, yeah, sometimes you fall short. If you need to get caught up on the fundamentals of the game, TDP, our friends at Total Diamond Performance, are the ones that can help get you on track.
They do. They specialize with the pitchers, hitters, base running, defense, you name it. They can take care of you over at Total Diamond Performance. They have 3 phases going on. I'm going to talk about the third one because they are big fans of the dual sport athlete. And for guys that are finishing up football, getting ready for baseball, phase 3, November 27th through December 22nd, gives you that ability to get prepared for baseball, which is going to be starting obviously in January. That's Matt Mastretta, Matt at tdpbaseball.com over at Total Diamond Performance, and we talked about them along with Sulphur last week. They've also added Live Oak for that mental performance aspect of what Total Diamond Performance does.
TDP, Total Diamond Performance. We'll come back and wrap things up tonight with our helmet stickers. This is the Week 3 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and your view.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Do you think you have COVID-19?
I'm worried I may have COVID.
We're open 7 days a week for both rapid COVID and antibody testing. Life is busy. You don't have time. Get your results fast at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
The interior of an Infiniti is thoughtfully designed to be all about you. And by you, we mean every version of you. Because there's luxury you can feel, and there's luxury that lets you feel. Infinitely you. Experience luxury like never before with Infiniti Premium Care, included with the 2023 QX80 at your local retailer.
At Louisiana Turf Cleaning, our number one priority is athlete safety. We specialize in sanitizing and general cleaning maintenance of artificial turf sports fields. From the constant wear and tear on the field to the bacterial, mold, and viruses that get under those turf fibers, we take care of it all. We also remove any unseen metal in the turf that could potentially cut an athlete. For more information, call me, Kerry Myers, to get a quote today, 504-453-6950. And let Louisiana Turf Cleaning keep your playing surface safe, 504-453-6950.
Don't have time for a cold? A cut? Those allergies? Or a sprain?
I really don't have time for this.
Lake Urgent Care is here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. Plus, we're kid-friendly and open 7 days a week, including holidays and weekends. When you don't have the time to be sick.
Coach Mahaffey from Walker High School, and you're listening to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard with Kay, Todd, and Jimmy on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. And it's that time of the night before we head out of here to get you caught up on who our top performers were with helmet stickers.
Highlighting tonight's top performers. This is Helmet Stickers on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard.
I'll start things off where coming into this game tonight for Dutchtown, they had held their opponents to fewer than 20 points in 10 of their past 12 regular season games. And with the win tonight, another solid performance defensively for the Griffins. So a helmet sticker to that Griffins D.
I'm sticking on the defense with you. I'm going to go with Zachary's defense. Held St. Augustine to come in averaging 55.5 points a game, held them to 7 points, and that was the opening drive of the game. So
a drive that really could have gone the other way. You know, they could have stopped them on third.
Yes,
when you consider it.
Could have easily had a shutout.
Yeah.
Could have easily given up 21, but held them to 7.
I'm giving my helmet sticker designed by GoPreps.com, of course, to Coach Gibson at Port Allen. They are 2-0 since an unfortunate incident in Week 1. I think that they have done an outstanding job of keeping focus and doing what's best for the kids and getting them on the winning ways.
You know, you mentioned that this was the first time probably since that situation. I've noticed a lot more. We were at Zachary tonight. And I'm sure every stadium is taking their own precautions, but you're seeing a little extra time. Give some, if you're out there and you're going to a high school football game, get there a little early. There's people working and doing some extra work. They were great today moving people along, but they've got some extra precautions taken. You're going through maybe a metal detector. There's maybe some extra police force. This is part of what's going to happen this year because of what happened. I'm grateful for it, and just be mindful of that they're working extra.
And hats off to the Zachary's, I don't know what to say, the school system, the police department, the administration, or whoever was in charge of organizing it, it flowed really well.
Yeah.
It wasn't, they had a long line getting in, but it wasn't like you just sat in it forever. It moved really well. Mentioning that unfortunate situation, Meet St. Helena was canceled tonight because of a shooting at the school again, where a St. Helena player unfortunately lost his life. He was the son of an assistant football coach. It's just a terrible thing. Hopefully they can get back to playing next week, but you just kind of take that as you need to.
I think sometimes young people especially, and I think just a lot of fans, like we'll take the LHSA, for example, don't understand why there's so many rules and regulations and type things. And this is a perfect example of it. You've got one fool that does what he does in Port Allen, and everybody has to change the way they do things. The rules are made for under 1% of the people. And that's why they're there. And whether it's the LHSA, whether it's going into a game, there's just no way around it. You'd rather be safe than sorry.
There were a lot of people talking in the parking lot. They were barbecuing hamburgers for the Zachary baseball team in the parking lot. And a lot of those guys were saying, it's a shame that it's come down to this. And it is. They're 100% right that you can't go to a high school football game without going through these precautions. But it's the time that we live in, and we're just going to have to get used to it.
So we were mentioning going into the break that game with Ruston next week. Ooh. What are some of the others that come to mind? I haven't really looked that far.
I haven't looked that far ahead. I know De La Salle comes to EA.
Yeah,
I think it's at EA next
Manny
week.
Newman.
Manny goes to Newman, but I think EA, they're 0-3. They've lost to Zachary, West Monroe, and who beat them? Destrehan tonight.
Yeah.
So three of the top teams in the state. So if you look at their scores, though, 24-7, what was it, 31-20 or something, like somewhere around there last week against West Monroe, and then played Destrehan, which extends their win streak to 17 games, which is the longest in the state, and it's a 21-7 or 20. Yeah, I think it's 21-7 tonight. So they're closing grounds. They're still struggling scoring points against good defenses, but they're playing a lot better. It'll be a good game against De La Salle next week.
As far as tonight goes, though, just one more chance to look back and what stood out. We've given out helmet stickers. We've talked. Look, a lot of great coaches tonight. Lee Doty, Dorset Buckles, Hunter Landry, Coach Brew, Coach David Brewerton, Tony Corville. We appreciate everyone who was out there. It's tough to get a coach on the phone when you got all the responsibilities getting ready to pack things up after a game. But what stood out most to you? Carr. Strong.
I mean, they were up. Yeah. What was the score at one time? I told you 34-0 at half. And Warren Easton just went and beat Ruston, and then
Catholic Eye,
on the road,
right, and did so where
that's a statement win.
Yeah. It was the year. Look, we know the situation Warren Easton's in, but it was the year where you think maybe they'll get the better of Carr, but it was not so tonight. Thanks so much to Casey and Ryan and Skip and everyone tuning in tonight. We appreciate and look forward to having another great show next Friday for Week 4 of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Your View.
Going hunting.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.